Okay, I'm here in LCM number 1 Google form, and the directions tell me to find the least common multiple, or the LCM. Remember, the LCM is the smallest multiple that two numbers have in common. And remember, a multiple is the product of a number and a whole number. So there are two methods that we can use to find the LCM. Number one, we can make a list of all the multiples of the numbers and then choose the smallest multiple that both numbers have in common, because that smallest multiple that both numbers have in common is the least common multiple. Or method number two, we can use the ladder method, just like we use for the GCF, the greatest common factor. And all the steps are the same except for the final step when finding the LCM. Okay, so for example, in number one, we have LCM of 9 and 21. And so just like we did for GCF, let's write the numbers side by side, 9 and 21, draw an L for ladder. Pull out a common factor. So what is a common factor of 9 and 21? It would be 3, right? 3 is a factor of 9 and 21. 3 times what is 9? That would be 3. And 3 times what is 21? That would be 7, right? Knowing your facts, memorizing your facts are very, very important. Okay, so 3 and 7. What is a common factor between 3 and 7? Well, no common factor other than 1. And once the common factor is 1, I know that I'm done making additional ladders. And so all I would do to find the GCF, if I wanted the GCF, I would only make a box around the 3, right? That factor that I pulled out. But I don't want the GCF. I want the LCM. And so here's where the difference is at when doing the GCF as compared to the LCM. Since I want the LCM, I tried to write it in words here, draw a box straight down and to the right to make an L. So straight down and to the right to make an L. You see how this box in blue, you see how it forms an L? I need to multiply all of these numbers together to get the LCM. Okay, this is the main difference between using the ladder method for the GCF as compared to using the ladder method for the LCM. When finding the GCF, I would go straight down and multiply those numbers together. When finding the LCM, I make an L and put those numbers in a box and multiply them together. So I have 3 times 3, that would be 9, and 9 times 7, that would be 63. So the LCM of 9 and 21 would be 63. Number 2, LCM of 4 and 9. So I'm going to use the ladder method. There's 4, there's 9, draw an L for ladder. What is a common factor between 4 and 9? Well, not 2, because 9's odd. 3 is a factor of 9. 3 is not a factor of 4. Is 4 a common factor? No, 4 is not a factor of 9. So they have no common factor other than 1, right? 1 is the only factor that 4 and 9 have in common. So let's go ahead and pull out a 1. Well, 1 times what is 4? Well, that would be 4. And 1 times what is 9? That would be 9. Okay? So if I wanted the GCF, I would go straight down, and the GCF, where the greatest common factor, would be 1. But I don't want the GCF. It's asking me for LCM. So I have to make an L down and to the right, make a box down and to the right. I'm going to multiply all these numbers inside the box together. So 1 times 4 is 4, and 4 times 9 is what? 36, right? So 36 is the LCM, the least common multiple. One more for this video, LCM of 12 and 15. So using the ladder method, there's 12, here's 15, draw them side by side, and draw an L for ladder. What's a common factor between 12 and 15? Would it be 2? No. 12's even, but 15's odd, so 2 is not a common factor. What about 5? Is 5 a common factor? Well, 5 is a factor of 15, but 5 is not a factor of 12, right? 5 times what is 12? No whole number is. So what about 3? Would 3 work? Well, 3 times 4 is 12. Is 3 times something 15? Yep, 3 times 5 is 15. So 3 would be a common factor. And like we just said, 3 times 4 would be 12, and 3 times 5 is 15. Do 4 and 5 have a common factor? Nope, other than 1 they don't. So I don't make an additional ladder. If I wanted the GCF, I would go straight down, and 3 would be the greatest common factor. But again, I don't want GCF, I want LCM. So I'm going to make an L down and to the right. I make an L. That box in blue, as you can see, makes the letter L. And I multiply all the numbers inside that box together. 3 times 4 is 12. And 12 times 5 is 60, right? Again, knowing your multiplication facts is highly important. It is critical to your success. So please master your multiplication and division facts. So the LCM of 12 and 15 would be 60. Okay, so there's the first 3. You try 4 through 10. And like this note says, once you submit, view your score, then click Edit Response to fix any ones that you missed. Once you get them all correct, go back into the Google Classroom assignment and click the button that says Mark as Done so that it will tell me you have completed this Google form.